Welcome to episode of 188 of 4thandjawn. I am Gail Saunders here with the squad talking the offensive unit, which was basically offensive last season. Obviously, the 26th ranked offense has some rebounding to do. It's been a tough go as this team is starting to figure out the pieces. We lost the head coach. We lost the play caller. We lost Ginger Jesus. We lost some of our soul as Eagle fans. There's been a chaotic mess on the timeline of who the Eagles should pick up and who the Eagles should keep and who we should go out and get in free agency when we have no money. In my black dad voice, your father looks at you in a certain way when you go to the store. Like,
hey, we got running backs at home.
You got money for that? You put some cheese on it. We can't put cheese on it. So obviously, Eagle fans out there, hold your horses. It is going to be a rough ride, and we're going to have to stick to this unit. And tonight we're going to talk about the offensive side of the football and try to figure out what pieces we want to add to this puzzle offensively. We'll be doing a defensive podcast as well. Hopefully we'll get some interactive people in the chat helping us decipher everything about this offensive squad. But first and foremost, how are you guys doing? I mean, we all have that we can't sign anyone in free agency.
Yeah, to say the least. I mean, free agency just opened up, and everyone's on the timeline. Everyone's looking at all these other teams that are making these big splash moves. The Patriots really went in just signing everybody that they possibly could. You're looking from East to West Coast. Everybody is bolstering up their lineups, except for the crickets that are chirping in Philadelphia, because we don't got no bread. We got no money. We got empty pockets. So, we're in a tough spot right now. We got a lot to do. We have a lot of holes to fill and not much money to fill them with. So, as much trash as we talk on Howie Roseman, he's got to get creative this year. He's got to get really, really creative with how he moves this money around. He's starting to get there. He's starting to get towards getting under the cap number. Still has a little way to go, but I'm not feeling like we're going to get any big time free agents, man. They're already flying off the board. What are you guys' thoughts?
I mean, by saying that there isn't much going on is like an overstatement. There's plenty going on. All you got to do is just tune into the fans. Tune into these fake fans, you know what I mean? Like getting all upset with each other. 1 minute they want to push tug at Howie Roseman for making a move, but then the next day they're like, all right, we can't make a move. So which is it? Do you understand the concept? Do you understand that we are broke? If you go in your pockets and pull them out and there's nothing coming out of it, we can't make any moves. So it's like more entertaining to watch them argue amongst each other than to actually wait for somebody to get signed on our squad. So,
well, Shaq has an idea. He says we should rob a bank.
Who's to say we haven't already been planning that as a podcast to just try and get some money in our pockets?
Yeah, we need to do something. I think that, mad IOUs for sure. This team, obviously, we talked about the fact that they don't have any money. So what did anybody expect? Prime hit the nail on the head. It's entertaining, to go. I don't know what people want, but, Howie needed to do one thing, and that was restructure, get under the cap. Looks like he's doing that. Marquise Goodwin reverting back to the Niners. We grab ourselves an additional pick. Save another $4.2 million on the cap there. Haven't got the exact numbers, but it's about $7 million you save on Brandon Brooks. But we don't know what Brandon Brooks' restructure is, so not sure what it is. But hey, we're going to be under that cap. Got to get about $7 to $9 million for the draft pick. So getting excited for the draft. Got 11 picks now, so that's where my excitement goes. Free agency is obviously nothing much is going to happen other than to maybe a veteran or two.
Oh man, the offensive side of the football team, starts with QB1, and the Eagles have kind of sold us on the idea that they're sort of backing Jalen Hurts, giving us the idea that, look, and I'm looking at the QB depth chart, and it's really hard to figure out how many guys are on the QB depth chart, but there's only one.
QB1 and only. Yeah.
Only one QB in the house, and right now, I think he's got our hearts. We're kind of back. We're backing him, and I know other fans are trying to force themselves to back him. And the funny thing is, like, we're going to sit here and like, is he the franchise after 4 games? No, but is his career over after 4 games? As much as you're like, we'll give once a chance after that bad season, but you like a rookie came in on 4 games and you're not gonna like he did something. Okay, he did something.
An already stagnant offense as it was. I mean, the offensive line we've talked about a million times was completely Swiss cheese all year long. He didn't have a good situation that he was coming into. So for us, no preseason. So for us to just bury him and say that it's not going to work, I mean, like I wish that we could just fast forward time right now, because I'm everybody's gone back and forth and back. It's like ping pong on the timeline. It's because no one's got anything else to talk about. Everyone wants to talk about, is Jalen Hurts QB1? For me, he is. Okay, going into this next season, he's QB1 for me. I want to see what the Eagles can do with him. I want to give him an opportunity to play. We spent a 2nd round pick on him, so I'm hoping that he remains QB1 once we start to fill out that depth chart a little bit more.
But did you guys hear the news that just broke? We have, want to know who our backup quarterback is?
Oh man,
it's nobody Brissett. Okay, nobody Brissett is our backup quarterback. But Prime, you were about to say something.
No, I was just, agreeing with Evan. I mean, we're another week closer towards, the preseason, the regular season, the draft, all that stuff. Just regular, on our way to go ahead and get this thing started. So we got to go ahead and realize that, hey, this kid is QB1. This is who we got to roll with. This is who we're going to roll with. So let's just stop all the bullshit and, start putting our faith into this kid, because right now he's going to be the leader of the team.
Now, Puga, shout out to Puga in El Paso. He's talking about Alex Smith as a backup QB. I mean, this is what we're trying to figure out here, is coming up with ideas of who could probably be the backup. Hopefully a cheaper option, but I mean, they just put Alex Smith back together. He's been like bathing in Robitussin. But no, shout out to Alex Smith for what he's done.
Yeah,
for him to come back.
Comeback player of the year, man.
Yeah, it was impressive.
There's Chase Daniel out there, not with an S. Chase Daniel.
Chase Daniel doesn't get me as excited as Alex Smith, Alex Smith, it's not like he gets me super excited, but as far as just a veteran in the league, he's a guy that is formerly, before he had his leg snapped in half, he was in contention to for a big part of the year to win an MVP a few years ago. So like, the dude's got talent, and I think that he can be serviceable in our system. The thing just is that like, I don't think Alex Smith would bring any kind of controversy. Do you? I mean, this would still be Jalen's job to have, or unless they go in with competition.
I'd love to see him. I mean, him teaching him how to throw a check down.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex Smith is the king of them, man.
The king check down.
King of the check down.
Someone just mentioned that we are under the cap. That is what is being reported, but I can't give you a number on that because, like I said, they haven't given the exact number on Brandon Graham's restructure, other than the fact that they extended it a year and it's about 20 mil. But I don't know the cap number exactly. But yeah, we're supposed to be under the cap, so let's go.
Well, not only that, I mean, I like the comment after that. I agree with you, man. All this controversy about the stimulus checks. Everybody just put it all in one spot and give it to the birds, and you know what I mean. We can answer all the questions that you guys are asking every day, so we can make something happen.
I'm like, yo, Howie, I got 5 on it. Okay, I got 5 on it. Okay. Going toward, if we're going to talk about the draft and Justin Fields, Zach Wilson. I mean, is that, like Justin Fields? I feel like he's got, he's played some tough competitors. Was there in the finals. I think his ability to be an athlete in the pocket, get outside the pocket, big arm. Some people that doesn't excite them. Some people like Zach Wilson's ability to throw off, the sidearm off target throws, and they're excited by him playing teams like Coastal Carolina, and because people are like, they're like, he's the next Mahomes. He's got Mahomes like 10. Like Mahomes could throw 70 yards from his knee. Like Mahomes' arm talent is on another level. I seen that dude throw 70 yards through a goalpost on his knee. So I mean, Zach Wilson's not Mahomes. Okay, I mean, do we all agree with that?
I
Yeah,
definitely
Agree
with that.
entirely.
I think he'll be a good quarterback, but he's nowhere. I mean, you can't even do that right now. People are ridiculous with that stuff.
But the Eagles have said they're all about the QB. So for right now, we're going to say that the Eagles are all about the QB. Guys that we've talked about so far, Alex Smith, potential backup. I mean, bringing back Nate Sudfeld. I don't know about that.
Yeah. Well, we said what? Tyrod Taylor. We said Jacoby Brissett,
Signed.
Ryan Fitzpatrick. They're all gone now. So, I mean, there's not much. You're looking at Mitch Trubisky, Brent Hundley left out there. I mean, there's not many names to roll with now. So,
I was sad to hear about Ryan, man. I was.
Fitzmagic in Washington.
Were you?
Fitzmagic. Yeah, I was big on Fitzmagic coming here, but I knew it wasn't going to happen.
I wouldn't have minded him as a backup, to be honest with you.
No, absolutely.
What
Absolutely
was the
not.
number he actually ended up signing for? Was it?
I don't remember.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't remember. Either.
a few mil.
Jacoby Brissett was the one I was hoping for. But
Yeah, and Tyrod off the tail.
dude,
Tyrod.
we're dealing with Greg Ward as our backup quarterback right now. Like literally Jalen Hurts is QB1 and only. That's
Yep.
So, someone said, oh, well, they're looking at quarterbacks in the draft. Look, I'll be real with you. You have to do your due diligence. And whether or not, Jeffrey said that you have to build around Jaylen, which I'm hopeful for too. You got to build around Jaylen. Let's see what we got. Use a second round pick. But at the same time, how often are you at pick 6? And if you have a guy that, could be your leader for the next 10, 15 years, and you think that there's a quarterback that you really like, you better do at least your due diligence, study these guys, find out. Because if you like them more than Hurts, then as a football decision, you got to do that. So I would try to get a weapon for Jalen Hurts. That's what I'd do. But
Yeah, or you could always get Kyle Trask. His QB coach. I mean,
Brian Johnson.
our QB coach was his former offensive coordinator, and then you could also bring in Kyle Pitts at 6 potentially.
1 year, 10 million. 1 year, 10 million. Fitz, you got.
I mean, we just talked about how all the comparisons that the quarterbacks were getting. I mean, Kyle Pitts was the guy who was it Louis Riddick that said that he could potentially be a Hall of Famer?
Jeremiah.
Daniel Jeremiah.
Yeah.
That said he could be a Hall of Famer.
Kyle to Kyle.
Yeah.
And then Jaylen to Jaylen. Well, why don't we move on to running backs? Looking at our running back group over here, are we excited? Are we excited about this group? Miles Sanders, who's was lightning. He flashed. His ability to break long runs was something to be looked at. Boston Scott, serviceable. Did his thing. Jason Huntley. Yeah, nothing to write home about. Elijah Holyfield, if he's still even on the roster, according to Spot Track over here. This group right here does nothing for me.
Really? It does nothing for you at all.
No, Miles does.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. You're talking as if we've got absolutely nothing. It does nothing for me. I think Miles Sanders is a great talent, and if he's given an opportunity, and to be honest with you, Boston Scott is a very good running back 3, in my opinion, bro.
As a group, we need one more.
You need one more, but that
we
doesn't
need juice.
Nothing.
No,
I'm
just saying is injury riddled group.
But Gail said the thing. We need juice because technically Byron Scott had an awesome year when he had that surrounding around him. He had that adrenaline it going through him, with the people that he has surrounding him. That squad right there, that lineup, I'm sorry. I just don't. I mean, Miles gets one little tweak, out for a quarter, out for the rest of the game. Then you got to rely on those 3. Yeah, I'm scared. I'm very scared.
I was scared last year. I'm scared this year. I agree with all you guys said. You need an RB2. You need a guy We won the Super Bowl with 2 backs that could run you over, and J.J. and the Garrett Blount. You don't have one of those. Miles Sanders.
They were bringing the best out of each other.
Exactly. And Miles Sanders doesn't even get 20 carries a game. I know we all clamor for it, but when he does, then he ends up hurt. So it's like last year, I thought it was a no-brainer to have an RB2. Instead, you have Boston Scott and Corey Clement. Miles Sanders doesn't even start the year. So you go against a Washington front 7 that eats people alive. Boston Scott can't do anything. Corey Clement can't do anything. Yeah, I'm kind of concerned about this running back group, and you better address it in the draft. Don't think we have the money for someone like Chris Carson, but man, I'd love to have someone like that. But a lot of talent in this draft.
Shaq brings to the table Damian Williams and Chris Carson.
That you could make happen, maybe Williams.
People are saying draft 1 and 3rd. Pete is saying 3rd to 5th. I would agree there. A guy that I'm all in on, Javonte Williams out of UNC.
Oh yeah.
Michael Carter out of UNC. Those I take either one of those guys, add him into the mix. But I think Javonte Williams, even though he's a guy that probably could go back at the first, top of the second. That's why I bring his name out. I don't bring ATN or Harris, because I feel like those guys will be gone before we get to us. But I feel like if you add that power element to our running attack, you could look across the board at the teams that made the playoffs. Let's see, the Cleveland Browns, Chubb, Kareem Hunt, the Bucks,
Ravens,
Bucks, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, the Colts, Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines. There's a 1-2 punch, and our 2 is not a 2. Our 2 is a 3. Yeah. And that's no knock to Boston Scott, because I think he's serviceable in what he does in space, but I feel like you got to add something to that mix, some juice.
No, I absolutely agree. I think that a power back is absolutely needed. And if we're being practical about it, really the only way you could really address that is in the draft. I really don't think that we can afford any of these guys that would be worthy of placing in a running back 2 in free agency.
Chuba Hubbard, Oklahoma, right?
Gail, you and I have talked about State, Chuba, dude. Oh my,
got some juice. I don't know how much of he is a menace in as a pass catcher, but he can run. What's the other guy from Oklahoma? Raheem. I can't think of his name. But overall, I mean, just looking at our running back group, we all realize that there's a missing piece there.
Ramondre Stevenson.
That's it, Ramondre Stevenson. That dude is a ground and pound. He's my if I'm looking at running back later who gives us that power, I could look at this guy. I could look at him.
Yep.
Why don't we move to wide receivers? Any last words on running backs before we move on?
Yeah, I think we touched on it.
Okay. Yeah, no brainer.
You got to add a running back too. Yep.
You could even add an RB3 into that mix, because Boston Scott could be your 4th. He's making dirt cheap money. It was a no-brainer to tender him. So, I mean, he honestly has no business even really. He's good. He is in that role, that Darren Sproles type role, just that pass catcher. So, but yeah, I would add a lot to that room.
Okay, now looking at the wide receiver group, starting with Alpha Jeffrey, who's going to be gone. Goodbye, Alshon.
Man, that list gets thin quick, boy.
Marquise Goodwin, we just figured out we got a 7th round pick back. But leading this group, Jaylen Raeger. You're talking about a guy who was misused last year, who dealt with injuries. Offense gets a new look this year. We have JJ Arcega-Whiteside, who's on the wrong side. John Hightower, a guy who's, we still don't know who he is as a player, but he did flash. Deontay Barnett, we'll call him just the guy. Travis Fulgham flashed as well. Another guy who, according to Jason Avant, we stunted his growth. Greg Ward, he's a reliable target. He's not, the flashiest target, but he's reliable. Quez Watkins showcased some speed as a rookie, made a couple of flash plays. Hakeem Butler, just the guy. Khalil Tate just the guy. So overall, just looking at that group, who's your leading wide receiver in that group?
Raeger.
It has to be Jaylen Raeger. And the thing is that like I'm not even entirely convinced what to expect out of Jaylen Raeger this upcoming season. It's a complete question mark to me. I mean, him staying healthy obviously would be crucial, but I didn't get to see the Jaylen Raeger explosion that I was just hoping and anticipating to see the previous season. So I feel like we're kind of going into that with a question mark, and that's why everybody's really clamoring for that wide receiver in the 6th pick, because that is what would that room desperately needs, is an elite wide receiver. We just don't have one. We don't have anything close to it, really.
James, SEC wide receivers only. That's an idea, man. I'm talking about the one and the only. Can you guys guess who I'm going to say?
Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! Look at the uniform.
Wow.
How does that look? That looks nice.
Looks like it should be a reality. I'll be honest with you.
That looks nice. A big shout out to our people on Facebook. Sorry, the live feed for some reason Facebook is acting funny tonight. So my bad. Is Raeger an alpha?
Well, we talked about this before the draft last year, Gail. The reason we liked him is because we thought, if used correctly, he could really dominate in the right offense. And I think our offense, I thought, was built for that last year. Not so much. You got a little tiny taste of what Jalen Hurts looked like in this offense. You saw what he could do right when he got put in with the Packers. I remember he threw that pass. Don't you dare put that up on me. He threw that pass to Jaylen Raeger, that nice little go route. And I remember just jumping up and being like, oh, I got excited for the first time. And then he threw that bomb to Greg Ward in the back of the touchdown. So I was excited. I think we're going to see Jalen Hurts get rolled out, all that stuff that, utilizes his strengths. But I think that's really going to help a receiver like Jaylen Raeger. Somebody that, after the play is pretty much shut down, somebody that finds a way to get the ball. And if you can find a way to get him the ball, he's going to make plays. I think if you add someone, though, like a Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith, who cares? Then you don't have to argue about if he's going to be an alpha guy. He is going to excel immensely, as well as the other guys around him, if you add a Jamar Chase. So please, just get a weapon. Get a Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, Jaylen Waddle, Kyle Pitts. I don't give a damn who it is. Just help Jalen Hurts in this offense.
And still all from the SEC.
Oh, Amari Rodgers. But, Gail, we talked about this. There's receivers not even just in the first round, so you could add more that could compete with these young guys.
Yeah.
We definitely need to bring Jamar Chase in here in order for this the wide receiver squad to be even talked about.
The fact of the matter is, like, if you get a Jamar Chase, and I know it's he could be off the board by the time we pick, but if you're talking about secondary prizes and you're talking about, Devontae Smith being a secondary, like that's like he's got
Heisman Trophy winning.
He's got Marvin Harrison type ability, silky smooth with it. His game is so refined. It's like I would say I'm telling you, man, his game is smooth. He's a technician. I think Kyle Pitts offers you that other element. Some people call him a unicorn, wide receiver one, tight end, whatever you want to call him. He's the playmaker, but it still speaks to the idea of bringing a weapon for Jalen Hurts. Are we cool with that? Like, are we cool with the?
With the wide receiver at 6, I am over the moon with that.
I have Chase here, I have Pitts here, and I have Devontae Smith under here, and Waddle's there too.
Wait. Was Devontae Smith under Pitts?
Yeah,
it's right under the pit. Oh. Right under the pit. Yeah, it's Smith's right under Pitts.
Smith Waddle for you?
Yeah.
I love Devontae Smith, though, too. I mean, I love all of them. Jaylen Waddle, I remember making a joke a couple weeks ago that people were going to find out who Jaylen Waddle was, and they did, and they're freaking out about him. But, yeah, Gail, we were talking about all the receivers, and like, who can we do videos on? Because there's so many exciting ones, even in later rounds, the Rashad Batemans, the Rondale Moores, the Dwayne Eskridges, the Kadarius Tonys of the world. There is so much excitement in this draft. You have no idea where we're going to go. So I'm excited to have 11 picks now. And I know Howie's the one drafted. So yes, we have to be a little scared, but dude, go get some damn weapons, man.
Yeah, and I called Bateman a poor man's Justin Jefferson. I mean, he's
good.
He's got to refine. He's overall his game is nice, and that's the whole theory of like all these wide receivers on the market are saying it's bad out there. It's hard out there for a pimp because these wide receivers in this draft, again, another stack of tremendous wideouts, dude. So overall, if we bring in a weapon, because we don't, the way that our bank account is set up in my Kevin Hart voice, we can't afford to really pick up a talented wide receiver on the free agent market. This is where we get better. Obviously, we're not excited that we don't have the money to do so, but this is where we need to win is in the draft and get. Imagine having Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts added to this offense.
It'd be insane. It would be absolutely insane. It would
and coaches that develop, right?
Yeah. Well, it would transform the entire offense. We're talking about an offense that just lacks playmakers, plain and simple. And those guys are the definition. They're the epitome of playmakers. So having guys on like that can even just take pressure off of the other players on your offense, it opens everything up. So, I would love to see those guys eat on this team.
I mean, there's quality guys that you can just grab in the mid rounds. I mean, there's Amon St. Brown if you're looking for a slot. There's a Diami Brown or a Terrace Marshall from LSU. Tylan Wallace at Oklahoma State. I mean, there's players there to be had. And the fact of the matter, we get that dog in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's where the best thing for us is the value of the draft kind of lines up with our needs. You know, we have so many needs, but talking about best player available, those wideouts up there, you know, mess around and all of us talking about these weapons and they go get a tackle or Rashawn Slater or a guy.
Okay with that.
I mean, he's got the versatility to play center, guard, tackle. So I mean, imagine that.
If they trade back, maybe, but I don't want them to.
Jimmy's
just
not
give me a weapon.
I'm with Jimmy. We need a weapon, big time.
And look, Kyle Pitts is good too. That's the great thing about this draft. I said it like a month ago. I think this draft is better than last year's when it comes to the skill position and especially wide receiver. And I mean, you throw someone like Kyle Pitts in, obviously he just takes over the tight end position. He's somebody that's better than most tight ends coming out for a long time. Being compared to Kelsey before he even gets in the NFL, that's wild. That shows you how good he is. So I would agree that, if Kyle Pitts is the pick, I'm still jumping up and down. But there's 4 guys right there that I named. I'm going to be ecstatic with either one.
Mm-hmm. And people are saying Megatron meets Travis Kelce. Slow it down.
Let's calm it down first.
Slow it down. I mean, even Jeremiah was like Hall of Fame. I'm like, bro, let the man hasn't even touched a foot on the football field, and like he's playing, and like the thing is he's a Philly kid playing for the Eagles. It's like amount of stress. We've already called him Travis Kelce. We've called him Megatron
mix. Yeah,
we've called Hall of Famer, and now he's playing in Philadelphia. Talk about pressure cooker.
I would hate to see him post anything confident. You know that social media would F you.
Shaq says one scout said Pitt's ceiling is higher than Kelsey's.
He's pretty amazing to watch. I'll be real with you.
No, I mean, I saw a couple one play against J.C. Horn from South Carolina, another top cornerback in the SEC. Have amazing coverage, perfect coverage on Pitts, and still out of position. You're like, oh my God, that was great coverage, and then he just. I mean, his play strength and he bodies you out, and it's wrap. So it's, but Big Fish Little Boat from YouTube says, I can't get on board with a tight end at 6. Sorry, guys, risky. But BFLB, did you know that he's a unicorn and he could play wide receiver and we could flex him out and do things? Don't just call him tight end because people will get angry on the timeline.
I think he played 36% of his snaps last year were at wide receiver. So, I mean, the guy can move up all over the place. You could trade back and maybe get him. But if you like someone at 6 and you're already seeing weapons go off the board, which could be the case if you're looking at Kyle Pitts, you might want to just take him.
Pete Nathan says, you know who gave Patrick Surtain work? Seth Williams. You know, everyone gave Patrick Surtain work after going back and watching the film. That's why I'm not comfortable drafting a cornerback at 6. I saw CeeDee Lamb. I saw Kyle Pitts. I seen Jamar Chase. So obviously, talking about Pitts and tight end, might as well move to tight ends, right? Move down the line. Obviously, we all know, and we love Zach Ertz in this town. This town is in love with Zach Ertz. It took a while, but Zach Ertz became a beloved player for the Ertz, for the Eagles. I mean, you know, he felt the wrath of.
I noticed you're speaking in
Philly.
the past tense right now.
Because Mans could be out of here. Potential San Diego could be trading for the guy, but thanks to what's his name, Sith Lord up in
Jerry Jones?
Bill Belichick signing all the tight ends, the top ones. Zach Ertz could be the top guy on the board here. Potentially, you know, I mean, how are you guys feeling about Zach Ertz being out here? Would you want to keep him for one more year?
I mean, I don't want to just give Zach Ertz away, man. Like, you have a valuable asset in Zach Ertz, and if you end up like just going into next year, and obviously it's the last year of his deal, you're not going to be able to trade him after the season. But if like I think it would just be much more valuable to have him on the roster with a team that needs weapons rather than. It all depends on what the trade package is. If someone's willing to give up something big, obviously I'm willing to listen. But if we're just giving them away for like a 4th round pick or something like that, no, sir, no, thank you.
What?
I don't think we get anything higher than a 4th round pick.
Yo, if we get a 4th round pick for Zach,
you would take it.
It's over.
Yeah, man, you can't get above that. I don't think you would get it because he needs a new contract, and that's what the teams are using against us. So, I mean, if you could get something, it's better than just releasing him. Sure, you save $4.8 million, but you got to get something.
Wouldn't you rather just have him on the roster this year?
I think he can sit out.
I would rather him be on the roster.
But he don't want to be.
I think he'll sit out. He wants a new contract.
His brother even said it. His brother said, "If you're going through this rebuild, I'd rather be somewhere else." And I don't feel like that's disrespect. I feel like it's a veteran
he's earned that money he wants. So go get it.
Hey, you know, but like overall looking at the back end, Dallas Goedert, could he be the new guy in Philly? Everyone keeps talking about like obviously Kyle Pitts, but if you team Pitts with Goddard, that's a godlike 12 personnel. You know, our back end of the roster guys, Kroon, Wilson, Tyree Jackson, converted quarterback, really doesn't do anything for me. But you know, I feel like overall, like if you can bring in one other guy to compete, I think Richard Rodgers, is he restricted free agent?
Restricted, yeah.
I mean, if you had that 1, 2, 3 mix in the mix, I'm good with that. Do you guys have any more on tight ends?
Who was that 1, 2, 3 mix that you were just discussing?
I mean, if they brought Richard Rodgers back
with Goddard and
Kyle Pitts and Goddard.
Kyle Pitts. Oh,
hell yeah, man!
Assuming Kyle Pitts is going to get drafted. Okay.
I think you got to draft one.
2 minutes ago, you were just saying that Zach is pretty much gone, and you know, I mean, you were.
No, Zach gone. Zach is gone.
He's gone.
We've known Zach.
I'd be the one to tell you that I was really highly disappointed on the way he acted upon, you know, the whole contract dispute last year. And then, you know, I mean, I caught it in the beginning of the season. I saw his attitude. But, I mean, look, man, I'm a Zach Ertz fan. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I don't like the guy. Like, I grew onto the guy. The guy did wonders for us. He, you know, I mean, he had a big touchdown in the Super Bowl for us. And I would love to go ahead and have one more year. That's just me. You know what I mean? But, I mean, I don't know. Is it me? Maybe who's to say that they're not holding on to him, knowing that they're not going to – they don't go with Pitts, realizing they're not going to go with Pitts. So if they don't go with Pitts, do they hold on to him knowing that we got to fill in that roster spot?
No, he's gone. He'll be gone like this week. Watch. I mean, it's the writing is on the wall. I mean, when we – like, come on, man. You I get a text from Prime. He's saying, "Yo, man, they got Zach Ertz jerseys at Ross, $39.99. You've been known that the Ross theory, the Ross effect theory. If your jersey is in Ross or Marshalls,
I'm saying one of them
$39.99, you are not coming back.
One of them's got to make it through. Carson didn't make it. Exactly.
Kelsey's the one who made it through.
Ross has the inside connections, man. Once you're up for sale at Ross, they know.
That's my inside source. I didn't want to tell you guys, but
Jeffrey Lurie's like, we got to move some merch, Ross. I'm sending you. Eagles Pro Shop is sending you 50% of our jerseys over there. That's how you know. That's how you know. Are you guys still rocking your Ertz jerseys?
I still got my Ertz jersey.
It hangs up there. It'll never get worn again.
I'll rock mine one more time.
I think I'm gonna give away my Vapor Wentz jerseys.
Dude, I have to hang up all my jerseys
because I'm not gonna wear. I'm only wearing Cunningham. They're like, "Oh, you old head." That's right. I'm old head. I'm gonna wear my Cunningham. I'm good.
Yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be a Cunningham Dawkins year.
If Jalen Hurts balls out this year, you're gonna get the number 2?
No.
Mark has a critical question from the chat. He says,
"Why not?
Does Julie Ertz stay though?" Prime. I'll let Prime answer this one.
I can't. My wife is watching this.
Put you in the bathroom. Yeah.
Man, listen, Julie's gonna stay. All right, I'll work on the details with that one.
Now Shaq brings up a point. He says Dallas Goedert's injury history worries me. Does that concern you guys?
Yeah, totally.
That's something I brought up. That's why you got to draft one. Get younger.
Injury period really scares me.
Yeah, I mean, this team just is injured every single year, ever since the Super Bowl year, really. We haven't been able to escape that injury bug. So obviously Dallas Goedert with a history of injuries, that worries me. That definitely worries me.
Absolutely. I mean, so far, everything that we've gone through, from the quarterbacks to the wide receivers to the running backs, there's key players in all those items, all those topics that we touched upon. But the thing is injury. The minute one of those key players get injured, you don't have that confidence in the backups.
Yep.
And that's why I'm like, we're going through all these topics. It's like we still haven't even sparked on not even one yet.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the new strength and conditioning coach and the physical trainers. I don't think I've ever been more excited about that kind of stuff.
But shout out to Shaq Mitchell in the chat. Let's give this guy props on Warzone. This guy's an animal. If you need protection, this is the guy that you call up. Shaq, if you're still here, put your gamer tag in there, and we'll find you, because this guy has saved more lives than I don't know who in Warzone. But moving on, talking about Warzone, trench warfare, the big uglies.
Nice.
You like that?
That was
like
nice
that?
segue.
The big uglies, you know what I mean? The big uglies in town. Talk about our edges. Who's protecting the edges? Lane Johnson, Andre Dillard, Jordan Mailata, Brett Toth. I think the older statesman, Lane Johnson, didn't have to restructure his deal. I don't know what that means exactly. Andre Dillard, the rookie, who had a sort of solid rookie year. So he gave us, he was all right. And then just mysteriously, he gets injured. And Jordan Mailata, oh my God, crikey. This guy has been amazing for his ability to play left and right tackle in a pinch. I feel like overall this group needs another swing guy to come in and just, who's available?
Who's that?
We traded him for DGB.
Dennis Kelly.
He looks like he probably could be an extra on
Undertaker.
Game of Thrones, maybe. Imagine if they brought him back. That would be interesting.
I would like some depth for this for the situation, but honestly, the one thing that concerns me most about that room, I think is just Lane Johnson's ability to stay healthy, because I think he's great. If he's able to stay healthy, I think Lane Johnson, we have nothing to worry about on the right side of the line. But the minute he goes down, like him having that ankle drained all those times last year, that shit scares me. And that's not something I think is going to go away. I think that's just going to progress and get worse over time. So like Lane Johnson staying healthy is really crucial this year. It's nice that we have depth in Mailata to be able to play both ends of the line, but we're kind of on thin ice with that, in my opinion.
Yeah, Matt Pryor is the only other guy that's not listed there as a swing tackle that we use in years past. We obviously lost Halapaludi Vaitai, but Jack Driscoll, that he wasn't up there, but that's somebody that I'm hopeful for that can hopefully one day take the place of Lane Johnson, because I'm with Evan. They said that injury isn't going away, and it is going to hinder him for the rest of his career. So
yeah.
Is he going to stay healthy a full 16? We all hope so, obviously. It comes down to health for all these guys. But this line, as happy as I am that they all restructured, and they should because of all their injuries and everything, but you got to get younger. You still got it. I love Urbig. I love Driscoll. And I want to see who wins between Dillard and Mailata, because then the other guy becomes maybe for a year depth, and then you got to try to trade him or whatever. But, yeah, I would address that in the draft as well.
And there's always Jason Peters still out there.
Hey, man. Don't. I mean, I think it's,
I'd rather play left tackle.
I've always been a Yoda guy, but I will put a hole in Yoda's ship because it's time to go. Get out of here. Don't
even let him into the parking lot.
Don't even look at me, bro. But it's not even a. You know how long we've loved Jason Peters?
Yeah,
it's
09.
It's like if you go to a club, like when you're in your younger years, and the old dude is in the club. You turn around, and he's like, "Yo, whose father is up in here in the club? It's over. You got to get out of here. Your time is gone and past."
That's exactly what it is.
Out of here. Get him out of here. Security. Put him in the bathroom.
Yeah, put him in the bathroom for real.
Greetings, John. John, has the greetings and salutations. That's how you know it's John. So I mean, overall, we're moving on to guards. Are we?
Sure.
And the fact that Brandon Brooks, man, that guy he's come back he's on his second Achilles tear. He looks fit as all fit. Like I don't understand how guards have abs. Is that a thing?
He does.
It is now.
Yeah, I had never seen a guard so shredded in that picture that came out before last season. He was on a different level, man, as far as his how fit he was that year.
Yeah, and he actually restructured recently. Is that correct? That's correct, right? Isaac Suamalo, he's been a solid contributor. He's got versatility all the way across the board. We talked about Matt Pryor, aka Richard Pryor, because his game is laughable. Jack Driscoll, who's come in and been serviceable as a rookie, dealt with some injuries during the year, but we were very impressed with him. Suopeta came in and gave some starts on short notice. Ross Pierschbacher, is that correct?
Oh, Pierschbacher.
Wow. Look at Gail. Can't pronounce a German name, man. That's just fucking on my heritage, bro. That's all you're doing.
Not acceptable.
I'm sorry, man.
Let me guess. You don't eat sauerkraut either?
I could say Heineken.
Hey, Pierschbacher used to be the center for Jalen Hurts. Just want to throw that out there.
I can say I can say Volkswagen. Shout out to Evan, who just got his new Jetta. How you like that transition?
Bro, when I tell you that I was driving around in the 55-year-old Jason Peters is what I had going on. I wasn't even last year's Jason Peters. I had, the real old one. And I upgraded. I ended up getting the lease today. I'm very happy. Very happy. I'm driving something that doesn't feel like it's about to fall apart at any moment.
What year are we talking about here?
2021, pal.
This guy, like who gets it? Like your people's like, oh, which card you get? Oh, 2020, 2019 to save some money. This guy's 2021.
I mean, it's a lease. You can only lease new. You can't lease no car.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Flex. King Austin is in the chat from YouTube. He says, "Does Prime still hate Barnett?" And Marcelo Carmine says, "What's the plan for Barnett?" We'll let Prime tell you what's the plan.
I mean, yeah, he's technically still on the roster. I mean, do I like the guy? He's got to prove himself to me. He hasn't done nothing for me. Gail's the one that's big on him. I mean, but other than that, nah.
But he had
going to be on Team Barnett.
he had a solid season. And for when if people still remember that, God, you guys got great memories. I called him like the 21st player on our team. Like that means he was like a borderline starter for us. So I mean, he's serviceable. But for 10 mil, I know we're talking about offense today, but the chat has spoken. And they wanted to hear about Barnett. Are we bringing him back at that 10 mil clip or
not at that price?
Not at that price.
Extend him, change the price.
There you go. Okay, we got an extension all around.
Yeah, if you could drop the price, I mean, if he can help out the cap situation, yeah.
If not, take a hike.
Yeah, I want to see what Gannon can do with him before we give up on him. We saw how long it took for Brandon Graham to come around. Sometimes it's just about the right system. So you already used a super high, first round pick, somebody that broke Reggie White's record. So he had so much riding on him. We put a little too much on his back, maybe. So yeah, extend him and get him for cheaper and make him prove it.
Jeffrey,
Gail did. Gail put a lot on his back.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jeffrey in the chat. He says, "This one's to Evan. You can lease old cars as long as they're certified."
I was going to say, just reach out to me next time you're buying a car, but I wasn't going to throw that in while we're talking.
If I'm being honest, my dad's the one that sold me the car, so there's that.
Okay, there it is.
And then on top of that, I threw out the receipt. So you know what? I'm not going to be able to return it now and go get an older car. So it is what it is. I'm driving what I'm driving.
There it is.
This reeks of car dealership privilege to me.
Car dealership privilege.
Sounds like your dad might have snaked your ass there.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I was starting to have that feeling. I told this man, I was like, I want to buy a car.
Yeah, you just messed his head up.
He's like, time to pay me back for all those years, Evan.
Are you sure you don't want to lease? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure I don't want to lease. I want to buy whatever shit car you got on your lot. Just find me the shittiest one. He's like, how about I give you a lease? I'm like, I guess I'm signing a lease. Jesus Christ,
man. Yeah, I think your dad pulled a fast one.
He did.
Yeah.
He's a sneaky one, bro.
Shout out to Moochie Robinson in the comments. I know Moochie, I believe you have that solid YouTube channel. I've caught a couple videos. Shout out to you, man. Talking about solid though, and he's not a car salesman. And he's here year round, and he's the voice of the people. Jason Kelsey, who has been selling cars longer than I don't know who at age 34. And he's, the thing I like about Jason Kelsey, he decided that he can't go out like a sucker. And that's him coming back and sticking to his guns and saying like, that's not how he wants to go back. Hat tip to him. Jason Kelsey, how are you guys feeling about Jason Kelsey coming back?
Man. There's two guys that I've been saying all along that I never want to see wear any other colors other than Eagles green. That's Jason Kelsey and Brandon Graham. So to see Jason Kelsey, I saw him, everyone was thinking that he was teetering on retirement. And he didn't want to go out like that. He didn't want to go out in that shitty situation, that embarrassment that was last year. So I give huge props to him, man. I really do. I'm glad that he's going to be back another year. It may be his last, but to have him play his entire career in Philadelphia, it truly has been an honor.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Jason Kelsey for making that decision. I mean, congratulations on the newborn.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I was excited to know that he was going to come back, and yeah, I mean, I agree. He definitely didn't want to go out with the way that season ended last year. So I mean, if he's going to go out, he definitely wants to go out on a high note.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great news for him. Great news for us. Great news for Jalen Hurts. Nick Sirianni having a guy like that, in the locker room is huge. So I know he's getting older, but even when he messed his arm up, you guys remember he was having someone put his sleeve back on because he couldn't lift his arm. That's how crazy he is. And as we're setting records for most starting offensive lines, it's one of our oldest tenured offensive linemen who is the centerpiece that didn't change. And having him back, that got me super excited because that kind of speaks further to, everybody saying this team is, they're dumpster fire. It's all, just this and that. Well, you've seen some of the guys that were willing to restructure and stick around. That's kind of telling to me, Jason Kelce believes that he can get back together with his guys and then come out and punch somebody in the mouth. Nobody's given us a chance. And I think the Eagles love that kind of, playing from behind thing. And Jason Kelce's a fighter. And I think he really leaving that kind of taste in his mouth, that's not how he was going out. So I'm super excited to have him back.
Yep. Yeah. I'm hoping that the Eagles start, they look to interior offensive linemen. Hopefully, guard, center, tackle versatility. Jason Kelce did mention that Su'Malo, once Kelce was gone, that Su'Malo would take his place. That's who he thought. We have Herbig and Jariga. Herbig, I think Herbig's a nice utility guy for us.
Nice big
versatility. In a heartbeat. Like I thought he played pretty well last season for, coming in on some short notices. But I just feel like overall, just on paper, Jason Kelce, Lane Johnson, Brandon Brooks, Isaac Su'Malo, a mix
Who's
of
going to be the other tackle? Who's he going to say?
Mix of Dillard and Mailata. Crikey, I gotta go with Mailata on here. Like I feel like he's played pretty well, and I think they can have at it at camp. Have at it at camp, dude. Like you could do like a Street Fighter match. Mailata versus Dillard, who also Dillard does own a official Prime helmet.
That he does.
He's part of the Prime fan club. He receives emails every week from
the weekly newsletter.
The weekly newsletter from Prime on updates
on the basement.
Prime got like a Phillies. He got a Flyers. He's got a military joint. He's got
Philly everything, baby.
Kelly Green Midnight. He's got it all. So if you guys want to Prime him, reach out to Prime. He's got things cooking. I'm trying to help your brand, my guy.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, just overall, I mean, we just did a really, quick look at our offense and tried to figure out, what pieces we might want to add. It's like when you walk around your house and you're like, the window's falling off over here. I need to put some screws in. We're really looking at. We're really looking at our Eagles like a broken down house. Is it a refix?
You need a front door first.
Well, you know what the Eagles have been doing for years, honestly? We got holes all over the walls. We're just putting posters over top of them. That's all we're doing. We're not actually filling the holes. We're just covering them up.
I've in the past, I've always tried to compare the Eagles as a house with like the doors falling off, and the doors did fall off, and
you could use the house off of Richard Pryor's movie. You know what I mean? It started off in one nice big house, and then the money pit, the money pit.
Like
example.
People will be surprised, right? So if the energy level and the juice is there, we have a full off season. Will this offensive line stay healthy? I don't know. Like, will we stay healthy as a whole team? But imagine if the whole offensive line stayed healthy.
It's a dream scenario.
It would change the whole
pipe dream.
It would change the whole scenario, and there was unity in the locker room. I mean, could you imagine? Could you imagine?
I think Kelce helps bring that unity to this team. I think that's why it's great that he's back. But Nate Herbig had this comment. John here says, I thought it was kind of telling. It was pretty interesting last year when Kelce did go out. They didn't put Nate Herbig at center, and that was somebody because of his versatility, I've been high on for the last couple of years. But they put Luke Uriga in instead of Herbig there. So it was pretty weird to me. I guess they don't like Herbig too much at center. So I'm with Gail on the thought process, I have been for the last couple of years, that Su'Malo would take over at center, possibly. But then you need help at guard. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, maybe I'm plugging Urbig, but it's like, but then maybe Brooks doesn't stay healthy. So draft an interior offensive lineman, please.
Maybe a Creed Humphrey or a Drake Jackson out of Kentucky later. Perhaps. I mean, the whole idea of getting interior offensive line is the move. Is the move some guard center versatility? Hopefully, I mean, you add one more big dog in there that could last. We'll see, you know. But overall, like, you know, if you know some last thoughts on some of the moves today. You know, it's interesting to go out there on the timeline and see everyone. It's like everyone's enjoying some Christmas, and we're the kid who went to the household and no one gave us any presents. So
no presents at all.
You're watching everybody out there,
My childhood,
unwrap their presents in front of you. So overall, we're gonna look at look around the league. Look around in my Drake voice. Look around the league. New York Giants. New York Giants placed a franchise tag on Leonard Williams, signed for 3 years, $63 million. Interesting. Cut Kevin Zeitler. Couldn't block Fletcher Cox. Cut Golden Tate. Cut David Mayo. Interesting signing John Ross for 1 year, $2.5 million. I thought we could trade him for JJ Arcega-Whiteside last year, but that didn't happen.
John Ross doesn't seem to have much, honestly. I was expecting more from him when he got drafted into the league. I was thinking his speed would be able to get him open, but honestly, he's not much at all. That's not really a concern for me in New York.
He's the person I go to when I say speed doesn't mean everything. Just look at John Ross. I always say that. I'm not worried about that at all.
Now going around the league to the let's scroll up here. We're going to go to the Washington football team. They placed franchise tag on Brandon Sheriff. That's a great, you know, he's a solid piece. Yeah. They re-signed Dustin Hopkins. Kickers are people too, Evan. They cut QB Alex Smith, who we talked about earlier.
Yep.
Cut linebacker Thomas Davis Sr. and signed Prime's guy Fitzpatrick.
What do they call him? The Civil War general? Is that what he used to be called back in Buffalo?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's kind of he's had a very entertaining career. I think would be the best word to use in that. He's always kept it interesting. He's had plenty of. He's went to nearly a third of the NFL teams now at this point, and he's had an interesting career. Honestly, he stretched it out, had a somewhat successful career.
Yeah, I mean, one of the main reasons why I would love to have him here, but you know, that under the circumstances, he's signed with a division rival. So you know what I mean, but it is what it is.
Talk about stretched out. That budget, that cap space for Dak Prescott, signed by the Cowboys finally, 4 years, $160 million. I mean, you had to the man had to break his leg for you to realize what he was worth to the squad. But bro, $40 million.
Are you guys surprised by that number? I was
after an injury.
I was blown away.
$126 million guaranteed.
Jeez, yeah, man. That's I really did kind of and I might get dragged in Philadelphia Twitter for this, but I kind of somewhat did feel for the guy last year.
Listen, you're not
I felt for him. I don't want to see anybody get hurt.
I don't want to see anybody get hurt. But it wasn't just him getting hurt. It was the fact that I know he was in a contract year. The dude was out there playing for, he was playing for a contract, and he ends up doing the worst thing that could possibly happen, breaking his leg in half. And so honestly, when he went down, I felt for the guy. I was like, man, he could have actually gotten paid, but he still did. So kudos to him.
And Mark says there's a ton of pressure on Dak now.
Yeah, of all people,
not for him. He got his.
Yeah, he's good. Of all people who has the most hatred for the Dallas Cowboys, I'm with you, Evan. I was feeling for the guy. The guy was having a great year. Mm-hmm. You had to tip your hat off to him. You know what I mean? And then when he went down, I agree, man. You know what I mean? You definitely don't want anything like that to happen to anybody, regardless on whether it's one of the biggest enemies of the league or anything like that. But to see what he got. I mean, hey, that's what's up. I'm happy for him, but that was risky as hell.
Risky as hell.
and it's very interesting that the Sith Lord Jerry Jones has said and been on record saying that the one guy that reminds him of Dak Prescott is Jalen Hurts. Interesting, right? Interesting. Another thing that's interesting is what the New England paying everybody in the world Patriots are doing. The Patriots signed everyone. Going to the Patriots, interesting. They re-signed Cam Newton, Justin Bethel, Marcus Cannon, Trent Brown, Jonnu Smith, tight end Jonnu Smith,
a big one.
Devon, God, I can't say your name.
Godchaw, yeah, he's good.
They signed Jalen Mills, the Green Goblin, who says he will not change his hair. It will still be green. For you people who are wondering,
respect, and honestly, I'm surprised by that. I honestly thought as soon as he got out of Philadelphia, he was going to be given that gimmick up.
I said to him, "Hey, thanks for getting us a trophy. Take care," and then unfollowed him as soon as I did.
Jimmy's a real one.
Fuck around.
As his mom follows, I'm gonna like, hey man, it's our relationship's over. Okay. Dietrich Wise Jr. signed. And then another interesting former Eagle, Nelson Aguilar, 2 years, $26 million. Dude played on a contract this year for $1 million. Comes back and signs a 2-year, $26 million deal. They signed a wide receiver, Kendrick Bourne, Matthew Judon from the Ravens, I believe. Henry Anderson. Re-signed Carl Davis, and another big signing, Hunter Henry. But overall, I mean, I think Patriots made the news on their signings today. I feel like they spent mad money, dude.
The Texans and the Jags, they were signing people left and right. Did you see the Jags and the Texans?
Yeah. Jags were all over the place as well.
But they have to, because you're realizing like what's going to make me go to Houston? Like all these players are like, I need to get out of Houston ASAP. So these teams that have the money, that's the only way they're getting people there, is because like we're gonna overpay. We're gonna get you here, because no one's like, it's just they've had a rough patch, and I feel like they need a whole
need a revamp.
Yeah,
big time.
But I mean, how do you guys feel like after watching all those players go? Getting signed, and I was still watching it like from last night on. I was watching it. I was just like, I couldn't stop checking my phone.
I think, man, sitting at the Christmas tree. I
was gonna say that was a perfect analogy. That's really what it felt like.
I was happy because I love that kind of stuff. You know, Gail, like we've talked about this, doing stuff with Madden when we were kids, changing the rosters. I used to write on paper all of the moves so I could go in and change them. So now I'm making like graphics and stuff, doing all the moves that are happening. It's still exciting for me because I went into this day knowing, well, yesterday, that we weren't going to be making any crazy moves. So it's just exciting to see who the other teams are getting. Great to see people like Chidobe Awuzie leaving the Cowboys. You know, always love to see, you know, you talk about us not spending money. You just saw what the other few teams did. Not much. So, hey, at least we know we're in a rebuild. We're not kidding ourselves. And we know what we're about. 11 draft picks coming up, baby. Let's go.
I take that. I mean, having draft capital is like, to some, having golden boot, like it's like the be all to end all. Like those draft picks are something. Like you to figure that we could be potentially trading Zach Ertz for a 4th round pick, and you're like, just a 4th. Hey man, a 4th round pick.
And we don't have one right now.
Yeah, I mean, again, man, we need all the picks we can get, and this is how we get better as a squad. Get cheaper, get younger, get some versatile pieces in here. And if you hit on this draft, I mean, you hit, we could be back in business in a year or so.
Yeah.
You know,
yep.
You save your pennies. Next year we'll have something in the bank, and we'll have something to spend on a rating day. And next year's podcast at this time, we're going to be like, yo, did you see what we bought?
Yeah.
Yep.
You see the Lambo?
It'll finally be our Christmas.
Patience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
this
see the
year's
Lambo
about
outside?
patience, man.
Yep.
You see the pool in the backyard? You see, we got
On the come up, baby.
We got a maid. We got a butler.
We got a 2022 Jetta. What?
You know, with tinted windows, spinners.
Yeah.
Some of those lights under it and stuff. All that.
So I mean, just looking at the roster, I mean, I feel like we got some work to do, and we still have to figure out who is the medical team here. That's the most important thing, right?
Hey, I'm all about the whole new staff here, dude.
Yeah.
So before we get out of here, any last words? We'll start with Jimmy.
Well, I guess what I'll say first is thank you to everyone for tuning in tonight. And thanks for you guys for just, talking to birds. I love it, dude. It gets so lonely out there in this world. But what I'll say is I know how some people are feeling. Football's gone. So you're just, I need something. So right now, look, we don't have money. What you need to be excited about is the fact that we're getting under the cap. Get excited about that. We have money for draft picks. We're going to bring in maybe a veteran or two. But just be excited for the unknown. It's the new quarterback energy that Evan talked about last year. That excitement. We don't know what's coming. It could be very bad. Yes, we all know that. But try to be optimistic. Got 11 picks. You got to be able to hit on some of those, right? Well, please, God. I shouldn't even have said that. But please just hit on those. And, this team, we could be competing. This division sucks. I mean, these other teams blow. Let's go birds, baby. That's.
John says y'all ain't shit. You ain't giving any Roseman any credit for these restructuring.
I did.
We did, John. We did.
John.
Shit, I love that.
Greetings and salutations. My ass, John.
That's what I said, though. People should be excited for the restructures, and that's what we talked about for weeks.
Prime.
Look, we're 44 more days away from the draft. All right, just hang in there a little bit longer. I know it's easier said than done, but it is what it is. We knew what we were coming into this season. We got to stay with that same mentality. So, I mean, you just got to sit there and keep on seeing all these presents being open while you don't get nothing. So, what I mean? That's what we got to do. And
you're holding on for your dad to surprise you late night, right? With the nice present.
Absolutely. But I'm definitely looking forward to midnight tonight because Alshon is gone.
Wow.
My man said it with his chest.
Hatred.
I'm just going to kind of stay in Prime's lane right here. He talked about how we didn't get any. We talked all the show about how we didn't get any Christmas presents today. Free agency, kind of was pretty quiet for us. But I want to put some good energy out there. I'm gonna say it right here, and I'm gonna believe it when I say it that our Christmas Day is gonna come during the draft. We are going to draft well this year. I'm putting the energy out there. We need to turn this team around. I feel it. I want to believe. Go get me Jamar Chase, please.
All about it.
I mean, you're really speaking to my heart. You're tugging on my heartstrings over here. When you say Jamar Chase, man, listen. Talking about a more dynamic, what was I going to say? My brain is going dead here.
My brain has been dead.
A more dynamic Evan Hearn.
Wide receiver that played with Larry Fitzgerald.
Anquan Bolden?
Yes, a more dynamic Anquan Bolden with athleticism and play strength. You get me that guy. I will be so excited. There's the only one thing I'm asking for this year is Jamar Chase. If I don't get Jamar Chase, I'll take maybe Kyle Pitts.
I just might.
Devonta Smith. Just give me a weapon for Jalen Hurts. Again, yes, the weapons match the board, and everything else will work itself out. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like it's really about getting weapons in here. I can't be more excited about the draft. I heard that Prime was telling me that it might be allowing some people to watch the draft at the stadium.
Interesting.
That could be interesting. I know I'm kind of torn here because we'll probably be doing a draft show, crazy like we did last year. But Just want to put that out there. It's not 100% yet, right? Prime?
Nah, it's not 100%. But hey, look at it this way: if it does happen, I think we could go ahead and get best of both worlds. We could show up there and
Yep.
you know what I mean, and live stream it from there. Why not?
Have you been in the stadium? That Wi-Fi is shite.
Atrocious.
It is garbage, but I'm not expecting a full capacity that day. So maybe we can have some.
We'll get the ESPN tower trucks to show up and hopefully they'll help us give us the Wi-Fi
It's a
password.
hotspot.
Listen, if
Yeah.
I got to put one of you guys on my shoulders to get it better, you know what I mean?
There you go.
We'll make it happen. I'll be a team player that day.
But for the guys, we're going to come back with the defensive side of the ball shortly. Hopefully, maybe this week if people are around. I know everyone's busy these days, and we're trying to keep on with our daily lives and routines and talk Eagles football 24/7. But until then, we will see you guys soon. And as always, fly, Eagles, fly.